That means fear has been with us, an emotion, a powerful emotion that has been with us for centuries. And it alerts us to danger and threat, and it's a mechanism that's been in place naturally in us to protect us from threat, to protect us from danger. Here's another thing about fear though. Fear can be, for some persons, an adrenaline rush. So it's positive. And then for other persons, you have fear that's negative. Your response to fear can be biochemical, or it could even be emotional. And when we heard the story of Jaquay or Dasquay, the bubbler, we see more of an emotional reaction or response to fear, where it was personalized. For him, he experienced physical symptoms of nervousness when he was called upon to entertain, to connect with, and perform on the stages of some of our nation's already established celebrities or entertainers. Fear can be very crippling, but there are ways that you can overcome fear. And some of those ways include social support, finding support from persons around you. Another way, which we heard that came out in Dasquay's story, is familiarity. So the more he connected, the more he was able to associate and align himself with persons who were on the same or similar path as he was in terms of his career, he got a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more confident in what it was that he did. So for those of you who may be struggling with fear, and there are different types of fears, and fear can come from, I know one of them that we struggle with most is fear of failure. And that's also something he may have been struggling with. And our fear of failure often comes from experience, right? And it can also be learned behavior. We don't want to be shamed. We don't want to be embarrassed. So we protect ourselves by not doing. But he did. Even though he was afraid, I might fail. And it might bring some shame. It might bring some embarrassment. He still wanted, or he still pursued his heart's desire. So those of you who are listening, I want to say to you, pursue. Pursue even though you may be afraid.
Wow, wow. Pursue, pursue, pursue. That is what you are encouraging everyone to do. I love it, I love it, I love it. That just spoke over me as well.
Good.
Thank you for joining us this week on Journey TV. Until next time, give love and light to the people around you. But most importantly, don't forget to give it to yourself. Join us next time for more Journey TV. Journey TV is presented by Ensure, Sign Island, Wildflowers, Dan Brad Limited, and Footprints Journey blog.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, beautiful Grants Bahama initiative giving the island a facelift. The former Prime Minister coming to Grants Bahama for a book tour. And a local pastor elected to a national office. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Ministry of Grants Bahama launching the Beautiful Grants Bahama initiative. Work crews are engaged around the island in a cleanup campaign. And this first phase of the initiative is already transforming some areas of the island. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and the Royal Bahamas Police Force are partners in this effort. Ramiko Knowles has the story.
If you have been driving around Grand Bahama, you may have noticed that it is a little more polished. Well, that's a part of an initiative by the Ministry of Grand Bahama to beautify the island. Some 350 Grand Bahamians have been employed to clean up and remove debris. Project manager within the Ministry of Grand Bahama, Conrad Jones, says it's all a part of Phase 1 of the cleanup initiative.
One of the things that the minister is doing is this beautiful Grand Bahama cleanup campaign, and it's more than a cleanup campaign. It's actually a holistic approach to the revitalization and redevelopment of Grand Bahama. As you probably can see, we are doing some cleanup. That is the first phase.
Jones says the Ministry for Grand Bahama is also working along with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. A small group out of the 350 employees were at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex doing maintenance work.
Grand Bahama is such a beautiful place, and one of the things that the minister wants in conjunction with the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture is to attract more sporting events. And so the cleanup phase that's happening here is the first phase as we work in conjunction with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture to bring more sporting events, international and local events, to Grand Bahama.
Deputy Director of Sports in the North, Norris Bean, says several major events are on tap for the island of Grand Bahama and notes that a clean and pristine sporting complex is needed. He thanks the Minister for Grand Bahama and the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture.
The Bahamas is an easy sell for activities, for sporting events, for religious tourism, but we have to have the facilities to host these things. And so hopefully with this cleanup campaign, it then leads to the construction of facilities that can attract the battle of events of the magnitude of the Battle of Atlantis back to the island of Grand Bahama, Junkanoo Jam, the Thanksgiving tournament, and other events back to the islands. Not just basketball, but softball, baseball, volleyball. We just need to have the facilities in order to do that.
We also spoke to several workers who have been contracted for the project. They say they are more than grateful to be employed.
Well, I'm grateful to have a job, to be able to pay off these bills will be piled upon us, and light bills and water bills and grocery, and to be able to send my children with lunch to school. And I'm thankful for Miss Ginger Moxie to provide us with little money in our pocket. Baby got big, nobody. And I can't leave Jesus, so thank God for Jesus too.
It only could be a divine intervention for this to happen for the people of Grand Bahama, because there's a lot of people that have been there saying that they can do for the people. This is proof. This is proof right here that this is something that can help the average person start moving in the direction that they need to in order to help their families.
I'm very happy to be a part of this organization. You know, without Miss Moxie, I can't say where we would be today, you know, because what she's put together for us, at least bringing 250, 300 people together to work, it helps a lot of families as well, you know.
Now, in addition to the cleanup initiative, the Ministry for Grand Bahama has also partnered with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to turn the area on Peel Street into a cultural site.
The ministers felt that redeveloping this area into that cultural heritage area that highlights the work of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and other agencies would be a interesting attraction for visitors to our island to see and participate in. So again, this first phase has to do with cleanup and removal of debris, and then when we move into the other phases, we will go into the redevelopment of buildings and a total redesign in this particular area for visitors and Bahamians alike.
Now officials say Phase 2 of the project will come on stream as soon as the cleanup initiative is complete. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Now, the Ministry of Grand Bahama's cleanup effort is also underway in West Grand Bahama. Those involved say they are happy to be involved in transforming that district. Tonight, they are excited about the teamwork taking place in that community through their lead supervisor, but they have one request. They're asking residents to keep the area clean. Azure Quant has the story.
People are very grateful, but every day it's a challenge. But we got this. They're happy and they're excited to get this done.
It keeps a lot of people from out of trouble. It feeds a lot of family.
It's very good. I wasn't working, but now I have a job and I can do things that I had no money to do.
I like it because at the end of the day, some people wasn't working, so it gives some people an opportunity to come out here and make a couple dollars at the end of the week.
Seems like a lot of people right now are excited about it, you know, to be working right now.
The workers are also expressing gratitude to their supervisors.
I feel good to all the ministers. I mean, everybody who's involved in it, especially Tanya. Tanya, the best. Number one, Tanya.
The way I feel about this job, that everybody is doing a wonderful job, and we want to thank all the ministry and my supervisor, Tanya, for helping us doing a wonderful job, as you can see back there.
It's very good so far. It's very nice. I mean, first of all, my supervisor, she is very generous. Very, very much so, I must say. And the work has been very good so far.
Now, this is the first phase of the initiative, and it is set to last 12 weeks. I'm Azure Quant, ZNS Network News.
We now know the identity of the body found floating in the water near the shoreline in Lewis Yard over the Easter holiday weekend. Police have confirmed that the deceased has been identified as 34-year-old Jamal Deloach, aka Morley of Grays Avenue, 8 Mile Rock. His body was found partially decomposed, and police say it may have been there for several days. Meantime, the cause of death is still under investigation, and authorities are awaiting the results of an autopsy. In other news, the U.S. Embassy says student visa appointments are immediately available at the embassy in Nassau, and they are prioritizing student visas for applicants who are starting or continuing their studies for the 2022 fall semester at a U.S. higher education institution so that they can start their studies on time. The embassy is asking all applicants to closely and strictly follow all health and safety protocols to prevent the spread of COVID-19, noting that applicants who do not follow the rules will be turned away. Embassy officials say they cannot predict if, when, or how they may have to adjust visa operations as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to evolve, and they ask all applicants and their families to remain flexible. Students and families should be in regular communication with their college or university to explore every option available, including online options, deferred starts, etc. in case a student is not able to apply, interview, or receive their student visa before their semester starts. The embassy assures that they will make every effort to process student visa applications in time for the start of the fall semester, but cannot make any guarantees. Interested applicants may begin the application process at usvisainfo.com. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Ingraham, heading to Grand Bahama tomorrow for an official book tour. His first stop is the Charles Haywood Library at 10 a.m. There, he will meet with principals of 40 schools on Grand Bahama and present them with copies of his new book, I Say What I Mean and I Mean What I Say. Then at 11 a.m., he will present 5 copies to the University of the Bahamas. From there, he moves to the Sawyer's Food Store in Lucaya. There, residents will have an opportunity to have their copy autographed. Tomorrow evening, the official book launch ceremony takes place at the Great Lawn of the Our Lucaya by invitation only. Come Friday morning, the former Prime Minister will make a courtesy call on the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie. Then it is on to the St. George's High School to meet and interact with 11th and 12th graders. The book is the first of a 3-volume collection of significant speeches and statements made by the former Prime Minister. The book is currently available in Grand Bahama at Bethel's Bookstore.
The Grand Bahama Children's Home is a house of love that cares for abandoned, neglected, and abused children. What is the weekly cost of sponsoring a child? Season 1 of Grand Bahama Facts is sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama.
Come on down. Come on down. Now.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with our mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
KMW Battery and Tires. Oil change. Oil and filter not included. Labor starts at $35. Open up Mondays to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in today.
One station giving you 3 different shows.
It's Power 104's new weekday lineup. Join me for late mornings with 6 from 9 to 11. Plus, we have something new for you.
It's your boy 3D, Mr. GB on Power 104.5 FM. Join me on the drive time from 4 to 6, giving you all the latest hits from the past to the
future. You know what it is. It's that DJ that plays the music that you love, DJ Future, letting you know to join me on 104.5 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, Monday to Friday, all right? But it's not just all about me. I got my colleagues along with me right here at 104.5 FM.
King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Mammogram Access Program, a nonprofit based in Freeport, says its goal is to increase the rate of screening mammograms in the northern Bahamas. Founder Nakia Watson says since Hurricane Dorian, there hasn't been a consistent public option for screening mammograms, and there are a lot of women in need of that procedure.
In March, the late part of March, a viral message went out on WhatsApp saying that there was a partnership between my organization, the government, and another private entity, and that wasn't 100% true. Although MAP does sponsor women privately, but and we would normally get on a normal basis about 1 to 2 calls, maybe a day, a volume that we could handle. But on this particular day, we got phone calls that well exceeds 200 women. And this would have been their first interaction with the program. So I did want to follow up and assess to see what their overall need and to see who really, really needs the exam. And so far, that list has been whittled down to about 100 women. Now, this Mother's Day, we are appealing to the public to donate to MAP so that we can finally resolve our waiting list.
To assist with the effort, she says persons can contact 804-4627 or donate to Commonwealth Bank account number 1051006380.
We do feel that early detection is our best protection, so I do not want them to meander and stay on the list for a long period of time. And our overall goal is to screen 2,000 women. Of course, that's a very difficult task considering our economic situation. But we are asking this Mother's Day for people to donate to our organization so that we can serve the mothers that are on this list and give them a fighting chance. Mammogram Access Program, we envision a reality where the Bahamas is not in that top 10 list for high breast cancer mortality. In order for us to do that, we need to have a robust screening program, one that's focused on early detection, one that's going to do follow-up with our females and make sure that they get that exam on a consistent basis.
History was recently made in the Bahamas Zion Baptist Convention. A Grand Bahama pastor was elected to lead the national body, and he was elected unopposed. Tonight, our Azure Kwan talks with Reverend Dr. Elvis Burrows about this achievement.
West Grand Bahama District of the Zion United Baptist Convention, celebrating 50 years of convention and also celebrating the newly elected president, the first to be elected outside of New Providence, Reverend Dr. Elvis Burrows. For the first time in 187 years, a president for the National Zion United Baptist Convention resides outside of the nation's capital. Reverend Dr. Burrows, winning unopposed, says becoming president has been a goal for some time, taking it as a mandate that Zionites were ready for new leadership. He adds that entering the race, he never thought about making history with the win.
After the election was done, I realized that I was the first elected president outside of Nassau. And so it drove a little bit of fear in me. And I asked myself, what did I just get myself into? But we have a good team that was elected to serve with me. And so I feel good. I feel confident that if we work together, which I think we would and we can accomplish great things for the convention.
The Zion United Baptist Convention is a consortium of churches that spans across the Bahamas, having some 80 churches, with Grand Bahama and Abaco having the largest districts.
Our West District has 20 churches, all the way from Maida Town with Shiloh in the east to St. Peter's in the west. And all of our churches are active, and we fellowship regularly. Our pastors meet every month to discuss various issues affecting the district and how we can work together and to unite to become more effective and to share best practices, resources. And so we've been working together for now 50 years. Because this is our 50th year anniversary. And so our churches in the West are strong, pretty united, but there's a lot more work to be done.
His election to the top post comes as the West Grand Bahama District is hosting their convention under the theme, Repairer of the Breach. Reverend Dr. Burrows encourages Zionites and pastors to continue working together, making the convention bigger and better. I'm Azure Quant, ZNS Network News.
Former director of the Bahama Brass Band to be honored for more than 40 years of service to the music ministry. The honoree says he is humbled by the honor and credits his passion for music and the joy of winning souls for Christ as the reasons for his longevity in that post. Former director of the Bahama Brass Band Grand Bahama Division, Winston Capron, being honored after more than 40 years of service. Capron, who says he is humbled by the honor, notes that he was able to serve all those years, not only because of his passion, but also the support of his wife and the band members, adding that it was more than a band, it was a ministry.
Play nationally and internationally, and when we see the people were so excited and souls become saved, and we say, look, if you're doing a good job, this is not just an actual band, this is an actual ordinary band. It's not just a band for band's sake, it's a ministry. When the band play, souls be blessed.
He recalls his most exciting time in ministry.
When the band strike up and leave the church, people, you couldn't get pinned between persons on either side of the road, both sides of the road, you can get pins in between. And 80% of them was not our color. We was only like 30% in that crowd on both sides of the road. And the band master told you, it's like being in heaven. When it was all over, the preacher job was very easy. The people get saved before the preacher started preaching. But when the preacher started preaching, it was very easy. And the preacher preached. And when it was all over, it was said, they took a record, they said over 100 persons get saved within that hour or two.
Director of the Bahama Brass Band Grand Bahama, Pastor Barry B. Morris, noting that he had big shoes to fill, as Capron is the longest-serving director in the history of the Bahama Brass Band.
The man is a highly educated musician, an inspiring director, and has a way of calling out of the musicians' talents and gifts that they didn't know that they had. He's a crowd pleaser. He has style. Every time he would have gotten before the band on the international stage, things happened. And so we really appreciate his service to the band and his leadership for the years that he has served. And it cannot be undermentioned. It cannot be overmentioned. And sometimes we tend to forget and lay aside people who have toiled and labored. But it is necessary for us to always remember that didn't start when we got here.
Cecil Thompson, a longtime friend of Winston Capron, says he influenced him to start the Hawksbill High Band.
I believe he done his greatest work with Hawksbill High Band. I mean, he and one fellow called Mr. Williams, taking the kids all over Grand Bahama and the rest of it, and repairing this and repairing that. I mean, you would have thought Mr. Capron was a member of the staff. He just got excited when you see young people into music, etc., etc. The vast majority, the members of Hawksbill High Band, the young people, were members of the Church of God of Prophecy.
Now, Winston Capron will be honored during a special service on Sunday, May 1st at 3 p.m. in 8 Mile Rock.
We want to give him his roses while he yet live. And we thought it best to do this at this particular time when he would have even more friends and family here. We also expect to have a number of the bandmen from the Nassau segment. We're counting on having some of them in our audience to make it a grand and stellar event, something that everybody can be proud of.
It's time for your Wednesday evening sports report with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to another exciting edition of sports right here in the North. Well, high school basketball season is officially done, but there are plans for high school athletes. In fact, before we get into basketball, let's talk about track and field at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. Day 2 of the Fidelity Bank Island Sports was in full motion at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. Competitors from various schools across the island took part in a number of field events with hopes of gaining points for their respective schools. In the under-20 boys discus throw, Carifta athlete from Tabernacle, Jethro Baptiste, won easily with a best throw of 38.30 meters.
My mindset coming in was to come first because I've been throwing discus for quite a while now. And my strategy was to come first to get good throws in. I'm out of reps and set.
In the under-17 girls long jump, BMES Phoebe Thompson captured first place with a leap of 4.98 meters.
Going into the event, I just wanted to do the best I could, make sure I do not go overboard, drive and extend, that like my coach, Mr. Fletcher, said, make sure you get enough height and then the wind's supposed to take you. And I felt like I could have done better because I didn't do my best. And I wanted to PR, but I didn't. But I still placed first overall, so I'm proud of that.
One notch higher in the under-20 girls long jump, Laniqua Black took the crown with a best jump of 5.22 meters.
Going into the event, it was just to have fun and jump. During the event, wasn't feeling the best, just got one jump in and that was the best jump.
Switching gears now, it's been a while, but the Darrell Says Basketball Showcase is set for this weekend, April 29th through May 1st at the Jack Hayward Gym.
We understand that, sports is something that's been needed and wanted in Freeport especially, and we're just glad to do our part in trying to, assist young men to have an opportunity to try to go off to school.
Coach Calvin McIntosh says some of the top players from Grand Bahama will be in action over the course of 3 days.
And we're doing things a little bit different this year. Usually you come in as an individual participant, but this year, considering time constraints, we can allow teams or clubs to bring in a team of 10 players, and it'll be guys who are really kind of familiar with themselves, familiar with other players, so it'll help them look better on the court versus being placed on the team with guys who they don't know. Major thanks to Freeport City Council for stepping in once again.
We are excited about it. It has provided numerous opportunities for young men throughout this country, not just Grand Bahama, who would come and show their skills. And we would have coaches from throughout the world who is here to see them, draft them, and get them back giving them an opportunity outside of the Bahamas to go and show their skills.
And finally, in sports, Little League Baseball scores from Week 7 with games played at the Mara Baseball Park. In coach pitch, Buccaneers Gray got the win over Buccaneers Red. Final score was 10-0. In minor league action, the Red Sox defeated the Buccaneers 9-4. In major league play was a tie between the Predators and Lions. Final score in that game was 11 apiece. And in junior league, another tie between Legacy Hurricanes and Fortune 360. Final score in that game was 7 apiece. And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
This Mother's Day, shop Pandora. With the purchase of $150 or more, receive a free bracelet. Offer valid April 21st through April 28th. Happy Mother's Day from Pandora, Port Lacaya.
BAF General and Health Insurance has you covered for everything that life throws at you. We are here to protect you and your family and everything you work so hard to achieve. We cover you with liability, auto, home, marine, and commercial insurance. See a BAF General and Health Insurance agent today so we can have you covered. BAF for life.
Celebrating the legendary Jay Mitchell. He brought us hit songs like Another Place and Time.
Place and time, made to have you, my love.
Your Mama and Your Daddy.
It's your mama and your daddy.
Junker Heat. Tell Laura I Love Her.
I love her. Tell Laura I need her.
And The Lord's Prayer. Join the ZNS Radio Network 8:10 a.m. on Friday, April 29th as we pay tribute to legendary Bahamian recording artist Rupert J. Mitchell during a 1-hour special broadcast from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Zion. Don't you miss it. Celebrating the legendary J. Mitchell.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with ZNS to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
See this in 3D. Look at life in 3D.
Said I need it right now. You cut all of the lights out. You can see me like Biddy.
So be alarmed. What you about to see is the bomb, like 3D and all.
It's 3D. Mr. GB on Power 104.5 FM.
What is the weekly cost of sponsoring a child? If you guessed $250, you are correct. Season 1 of Grand Bahama Facts is sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Siobhan Roll, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We are grateful for your support. And happy birthday goes out to Brandon Stewart all the way in Cocoa Key. We hope you enjoy your day. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jamila Missick. Thank you so much for joining us. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, heavy hitters in the world of crypto meet. A verbal clash in Parliament, a pivotal moment in Bahamian history, and Aiden and Sons take Game 5. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lapindo. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for joining us. For cryptocurrency movers and shakers, the Bahamas is the place to be over the next few days. Hundreds of global financial industry leaders are in town attending the Crypto Bahamas Conference at the Bahama Resort for 4 days of discussions and unique experiences. The power players welcomed by the Prime Minister this morning, who touted the Bahamas as the premier venue for international business. Fern Carey leads us off tonight.
The Bahamas is open for business for those who want to set up shop in the world of digital asset innovation. That message from the nation's leader, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, at the official opening of the FTX SALT Cryptocurrency Conference on Wednesday. Prime Minister Davis indicated that the Bahamas has already established itself as a leader in the crypto space, citing central bank's launch of the sand dollar back in 2019, which became the world's first government-backed, blockchain-based digital currency. The Prime Minister also pointed to a policy white paper which the government launched last week that details the future of digital assets in the country.
This paper sets out our vision and the supporting framework to transform the Bahamas into the leading digital assets hub in the Caribbean and a global leader in the progressive regulation of businesses in this profoundly innovative space.
The Prime Minister's comments come as industry insiders say the growing popularity of cryptocurrency is already revolutionizing the global financial industry. Meantime, as conference goers network and discuss innovation and how to stay ahead of the curve, Prime Minister Davis assured that the Bahamas has an array of professionals in the fintech space who are eager to assist and partner with those who want to do business in the country.
While your many and myriad conversations flourish around the technological marvels and possibilities for wealth generation, the conversation in this space is largely being considered merely in terms of services, processes, and objects. I encourage you simultaneously to include in that conversation what you can do to promote the common good.
As the Bahamas and the global community embrace a digital future, Prime Minister Davis expressed his commitment to ensuring that this era of dramatic change will also be one of progress for the nation. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
The tourism minister, meantime, promoting the Bahamas as the ideal location of what's to come in the way of a new digital assets hub. Our Desmond Saunders is standing live at Bahama with that angle. Good evening, Desmond.
Good evening to you. And as you indicated, Bahama is the meeting spot this week for some of the world's heavy hitters in the digital currency market. Day 2 of the summit ended today, and we heard from the country's Minister of Tourism. Touting the Bahamas as the ideal destination for business, the tourism minister told participants that his government remains committed to growing the billion-dollar cryptocurrency industry, stressing that Bahamians will play an integral role in its success.
Don't just look at this as an opportunity to build an industry that caters to the outside world, but we want to build an industry as well that Bahamians would benefit and participate in. Tourism is bringing 65% of our gross domestic product at the moment. We want to diversify. We promised in our blueprint for change that we're going to bring new industries, and we're well on the way to doing so. The infrastructure that exists for tourism, whether it's a lovely hotel like this, would also be suitable for business travel. In terms of the digital wallets and digital payments, this is also suitable. We want this to be an industry that benefits Bahamians as well.
Cooper says his government has been charting the course to create a business-friendly atmosphere and maintain a properly regulated financial services industry.
The government is committed to this industry, not just in word, but in action. We will establish a crypto desk at Bahamas Invest to help to facilitate new investors that come to our shores, and so that they can truly see the value proposition that we offer. The expertise abroad, as you can tell, on the panel today. We do have those professionals ready and willing to help to navigate the environment, and the government is firmly committed to the growing of the industry.
Well, some delegates, Makushla, and those listening also heard from the country's Attorney General, Ryan Pender, who spoke about the Bahamas being a trailblazer in the digital assets economy. As you're aware, Makushla, back in 2019, the central bank launched the sand dollar, which is the world's first digital currency. Makushla, back to you.
Now, Desmond, we also heard today from two top women in financial services here in the Bahamas. Fill us in on what they shared in this regard.
Well, they touted the success of the financial services industry over the several decades and basically outlining details. If you're an investor, you want to become a part of what's happening in this country as it relates to the financial and digital currency markets, there are some requirements. Tanya McCartney outlined some of the requirements and also spoke of some of the stiff regulations that this jurisdiction has that sets it apart from any other jurisdiction around the world.
Now, the conference bringing together, as we've said, some pretty big wigs throughout the world, not just the country. What's on the agenda for Thursday?
Well, Thursday looking pretty good. A full packed lineup of A-list speakers. Makushla, we will have the former president, U.S. President Bill Clinton will address delegates, and also the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the Right Honorable Tony Blair, will be here. Should be great.
Well, thanks again. That's our Desmond Saunders reporting from Bahama Resort, the venue for a cryptocurrency conference here in the capital. Now, meantime, Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael Halkita, serving as a panelist at today's Crypto Bahamas conference, fielding questions about the government's proposed legislation on climate change and carbon markets that's expected to create a carbon exchange market, among other things.
When this administration came in, we were speaking with some professionals who opened our eyes to the virtue of our protected areas here in the Bahamas as carbon sinks, carbon sequesters. And we, advanced the discussions, and it became a very real reality that we can monetize some of these national assets in terms of the carbon sequestration. And the idea from the Prime Minister was, okay, how do we go from not just a one-time realization of a fee, but an ongoing contribution to our national finances to help to mitigate the effects of climate change.
In other news this evening, government officials not alone in their concern over that recent U.S. travel alert. Similar reaction from the top brass of the police force, who have vowed to put initiatives in place to assure the country's safety. As we hear in this report, they have also partnered with Customs, the Attorney General's office, and the United States to get to the root of illegal firearms.
Here's a question for you. If tourists suddenly decide to stop visiting the Bahamas, where would that leave us? Not in a very good place, considering that's a death blow to the top industry and, by extension, the local economy. That then explains Acting Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez's serious concern over the U.S. Embassy's recent travel advisory to its citizens. That advisory cautions Americans to exercise vigilance, and this particularly in light of its residents recently reporting 4 armed robberies. Fernandez confirming during Tuesday's press briefing that a few tourists were robbed at a golf course.
And we will not stand by and let a handful of individuals destroy our country. And Bahamian people have to understand, we may say, yes, or they're the criminals who killing up one another. No, the picture is bigger than that. It's a country that they are destroying.
Many would agree that there are no truer words, considering that while the incidents may have been isolated to New Providence, the entire country suffers. When asked if there was something that could be done to avoid the tourism fallout for Family Island communities, Fernandez says those issues are being addressed. Now, as for the culprits behind armed robberies targeting residents,
based on our intel, there's multiple individuals. And we look at it based on the trends and then the description. Yes, you have one or two groupings based on the trend. And when we interview victims and based on description or maybe footage, you could see based on the description on the footage, it may connect to another matter.
The whole issue of armed robberies, again, pushing to the fore the question of where are these guns coming from and what authorities are doing to put an end to it.
There's a lot of initiative we have in place. We are focusing too on a number of the family islands where we believe that they are coming in through family islands and then make its way here to the capital where most of the high crime areas is. So we're clogging the area. We have our hands on the pulse, and you will continue to see individuals go into court, and that's why we are meeting with the DPP office with our laws so that we could go at them with trafficking.
In less than a month, officers have seized 13 firearms, including high-powered rifles, along with more than 250 rounds of ammunition. Well, as the police force continue its appeal for public assistance in combating crime, they've secured a partner in the National Neighborhood Crime Watch Council. Desmond Saunders tells us more about their recent visit to the Fox Hill community.
It's a fight they hope to win, ending violence on the streets in hopes of curbing crime. Tuesday's walkabout in the Fox Hill community, another effort by the Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council and the police force to promote safe communities. Council Chairman Keno Wong.
This is just a part of our partnership with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to go into the communities, to hear the concerns of the community, but also to show the community that residents and the police are one in terms of our partnership, and to collaborate with one another and to feel their presence, but also, as our theme says, empowering and unifying our communities through love, care, and trust.
Chief Superintendent of Police and officer in charge of the Fox Hill Division, Mark Barrett, insists the fear of crime can only be stamped out through partnership.
We have a number of issues that we are dealing with presently in the Fox Hill area, and is a three-pronged approach. One, to hear our residents' concern. Two, to get our young people involved in the initiatives that we have at Fox Hill Police Station. And then three, to see what other information we can gather from them that will be able to assist us in policing their community even better.
The Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council celebrating its 4th year anniversary. The organization hopes to continue its work in addressing the country's social ills. The Fox Hill Walkabout, the first of many that will take place in the country. Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Still to come, the building code reviewed, and hear more about a significant moment in Bahamian history. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A lot has changed over the past 60 years, but at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give into. A a juicy piece of KFC, to feel elevated by the aroma, and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
At the Department of Housing, we are working diligently to expand the path to home ownership. We have streamlined our mortgage application process to make it easier and more convenient for you, our valued clients. The first step in the application process is to register online at www.mothbahamas.com. Registering online is a critical step in the mortgage application process, as it allows for a specific profile to be created, and it also allows you, our valued clients, to easily track and monitor your application as it moves through the various phases. The following documents are required: passport, NIB smart card, voter's card or recent utility bill not older than 3 months old to confirm address, job letter, pay stub, print of current credit facilities, which includes consumer loans and credit cards. For self-employed persons, the Department of Housing will require company documentation, such as a valid business license and business account statements for a minimum of 12 consecutive months. The Department of Housing, making access to quality, affordable housing easier for Bahamians. If you're interested in quality, affordable housing built at the highest construction standards, please register at www.mothbahamas.com or call us at 302-5816.
Anything you need, we got you covered. Say the word and we'll come through. So if you need coverage for life, choose BAF, they'll get it right. Just go out and do it. It's your life, so just live it. So anything you want, you can get it. It's time to get it right. So we rolling with BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we going with BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we choosing BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we rolling with BAF for life. BAF for life. If you want coverage for life, choose BAF, they'll get it right. Yes, that's the best choice. BAF, that's BAF for life.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Hurricane Dorian's impact accounted for some $3.4 billion in infrastructure damage in Grand Bahama and Abaco, begging the need for change, and this includes improving the country's building code. We hear more from our Jimenita Swain.
Evidence of severe corrosion of metal connections, aged or termite-infested timber.
Just some of the factors coming out of a report following the passage of 2019's Hurricane Dorian that led to the wide-scale billion-dollar losses. It's those concerns coupled with pressing climate change factors that's prompted Works Minister the Honorable Alfred Sayers to renew the call for the 2003 Bahamas Building Code to be improved. Taking a step in that direction, a stakeholders consultancy meeting was held Wednesday to hear concerns of those working in the industry from the private and public sectors. The issues included the current building code, climate resiliency, sustainability, and the future code. The project will come under the Climate Resiliency Management and Infrastructure Program funded by an IDB loan agreement with the government. Its project manager is Charlene Cawley, who notes the areas to be addressed in the updated code.
Persons with Disabilities Equal Opportunities Act 2014 will be addressed, renewable energy standards and guidelines, sustainability, green building and low energy efficient design, and the CARICOM Efficiency Building Code.
These stakeholders look forward to the changes.
One of those recommendations will also be that we're on a fixed period for upgrades. So the code should be upgraded every 5-10 years or so.
The engineer working today should be able to pick up the code and with confidence design
and have construction methods outlined without having to make a special request.
These stakeholders look forward to the changes.
I'm sure the Department of Physical Planning, along with other government agencies, the disaster recovery areas, and NEMA would all play a role in identifying areas that need to be looked at as vulnerable to climate change and flooding.
Now, officials say the consultancy phase of this project should take about 9 months, after which time the recommendations will be compiled in a report that will be forwarded to the Minister of Works. Jiminita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Now to news from Parliament. Minister of the Environment, the Honourable Vaughan Miller, leading off debate on the Carbon Market Initiatives Bill in the House of Assembly this morning. It's the initial step to ensuring the Bahamas can reap the financial benefits from trading in carbon credits that can help the country protect its mangroves, seagrass, forest and coral reefs. The bill would also assist the global response to climate change and create initiatives to offset carbon emissions.
Part 1 and Clause 3 of the bill ensures that all carbon credits identified in our nation remain the property of our country and therefore cannot be traded without the consent of the government of the Bahamas. In Part 1, Clause 4 of the bill, we transparently outline our national targets and modalities for addressing our commitments under the Paris Agreement, and they are namely A, to enable the Bahamas to attain its undertaking to achieve its greenhouse gas emissions target by the year 2030.
A rising inflation coupled with value-added tax, the two issues leading to a heated exchange in the House of Assembly today. Here's Cleopatra Murphy with the story.
So I say to the honourable member, this is not Hollywood A in the Parliament.
The House of Assembly erupted into a shouting match during the Wednesday morning session, with Deputy House Speaker the Honourable Sylvanus Petty ultimately threatening to have St. Barnabas MP Shannon Don Cartwright removed. This is after Cartwright called on government to remove VAT from breadbasket items amidst rising inflation that he says is forcing Bahamians to stretch what little they have. MP for Engliston, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, however, lambasted Cartwright, accusing him of sitting in silence when the Minister administration raised VAT.
That led to reduction in consumerism, a contraction of the economy, and what was then the highest cost of living in the history of this nation. Highest cost of living. So the member to come in here now with, as if it's all brand new, I'm quite shocked.
Cartwright fired back, accusing Hannah Martin of attempting to deflect from government's obligation to bring relief to Bahamians.
In 2015, the Progressive Liberal Party put value-added tax on breadbasket items in 2015. In 2018, the Free National Movement took VAT off of breadbasket items. And in 2022, the Progressive Liberal Party put VAT back on breadbasket items. That's the reality.
Cartwright says you can hear the cries in the food stores and at the gas pumps, charging that Parliament and government must act.
The question is, what is the government going to do now?
Hannah Martin says her criticism does not stem from being oblivious to the plight of Bahamians, many who suffered when the country was shut down at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
While I do not disagree that there is a level of hardship, I endorse that, but I am utterly shocked at this awakening to the experience of people in these communities, and many of whom are in St. Barnabas.
Value-added tax was reduced from 12% to 10% in January. Meanwhile, the IMF predicts inflation will rise 7.3% this year due to the war in Ukraine. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
For Lyndon, he took the mace and he threw it out the window, and then the crowd started roaring and hollering and screaming.
Today, the 57th anniversary of Black Tuesday, when Father of the Nation, former Prime Minister the Right Honourable Sir Lyndon Pinling threw the Speaker's mace out the House of Assembly's window to protest gerrymandering. while then Member of Parliament for the Western District, Samilo Butler, tossed to the Speaker's hourglass, all as a result of the government introducing a 12-minute limit on parliamentary speeches. Member of Parliament for Fox Hill, the Honourable Fred Mitchell, reflected on the role several of the country's trailblazers played in this event, including the late Effie Walks.
The late Effie Walks recalled that she was the only woman in the room, and it was she who mooted the idea that there needed to be something done more radically to demonstrate that the then minority-ruled government had to go.
And as Minister Mitchell recounts, the late Effie Walks was very active in the political fight during that era, dominated by the United Bahamian Party. Walks was on the outskirts of Parliament to witness that defiant move, which changed the country's political landscape. In a ZNS program recapping the events of April 27, 1965, Walks recalls how residents turned out in droves in a planned protest.
They were singing, "We will overcome someday." And we sang that from the recreation ground, straight up until we reach on Bay Street. And when we get up on the hill, and I look down over the hill, I turned around and I said to Miss Pinlan, I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Look at the people." And everybody was looking to the eastern window and see what happened. And finally, the eastern window opened. Milo Butler opened the window. And Sir Lyndon just calmly walked to where the mace was and picked up the mace and said, "This belongs to the people. So I will give it back to the people. It's business outside." And he took the mace and he threw it out the window, and then the crowd started roaring and hollering and screaming.
Also present that day was PLP stalwart Fernley Palmer, who tells us what happened after the mace was thrown out of the House of Assembly.
The mace was supposed to be relayed to Sudden Recreation Ground. Was a baton relay, the 100 yards or whatever, the 100 meters, 400 by 100 meters. Yeah, they supposed to be relayed because they assume one police might have run behind, the police don't have it. So he was to pass it on, and it was to end up on Sudden Recreation Ground where there would be a mass meeting.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour, starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m., all right here on the ZNS Network.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
A lot of people ask, well, what's the secret about Inagua? Like the song say, Inagua is the best kept secret. You know, when folks come here today, some don't know what to expect. You know, this little place is just so sweet. My name is Randolph Burrows, but I'm better known as Casper the Friendly Ghost all over the world. I'm a local trained tour guide here on the island. No stress, just living the good life. And you know, we have a lot of wildlife here. I always spend a lot of time when I was growing up out in the wilderness with my grandfather, my uncles and stuff. So that's where my passion for the outdoors came from, just being in it all day, every day. You could go with me for about half an hour and I could blow your mind. A lot of folks, when they come to the island, they want to see flamingos and they want to see salt. You know, they have this picture in their mind that, oh, well, there's a salt company here. They have a little pond, they produce salt. But on our way out to the salt factory, when we drive through the crystallizers and they see how vast the operation and that alone just blows their mind. They come with a concept that, you know, all the flamingos are in a little pond somewhere you can drive up. That doesn't happen. Sometimes it takes longer to go, but once we get to a good spot, like you saw yesterday, it's mind-blowing. We have it estimated probably well over 80,000. We've had a few good breeding years, so they're here, there, and everywhere. But when you actually see it live in person, people just break down and cry. It was so beautiful. Eco-tourism spot. You can come, you can go fishing, birding, you can go donkey watching. Population of burrowing owls is growing. You can see them pretty much anywhere you go on the island. I think that's the secret. You know, the people are nice, the environment is nice and peaceful. There's just something about this place. It's just a sweet place.
We get it. Life happens. And when it does, Easy Payday is here for you. Whether it's cash for school fees, a vacation, or even a loan consolidation, no matter what your needs are, we are here for you when you need us most. Eligible applicants can borrow up to $15,000. Visit us at our new location on University Drive. Give us a call at 603-0200 or apply online at easypayday.loans. Easy Payday loans are simple, fast, and easy.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
COVID hospitalizations creeping up again, with April 26 showing 7 such patients, all said to be moderately ill. On the flip side, another 7 people recovered from the virus, bringing that count to over 32,000. As for new infections, Tuesday saw 13, 12 of the newly infected on New Providence, the other on Grand Bahama. A look at gender puts that at 7 females and 6 males. The International Labour Organization conducting research on unemployment insurance. In fact, the group discussed the matter this morning with trade union stakeholders at the Department of Labor. ILO Caribbean Social Protection, Occupational Safety and Health Specialist Ariel Pino says their mission is to get a full perspective on all operational and legal aspects to design unemployment insurance over in Jamaica.
The ILO is supporting the government of Jamaica and the social partners in the implementation of the unemployment insurance. And within the activities, we included 2 study visits. One is to the Bahamas to visit how the NIB is currently administering the national insurance, the unemployment benefit, and the other one is to Barbados. We want to have an unemployment insurance that is as much comprehensive as possible and not only replace income, but at the same time supports employability through skills development, through job matching, etc., and people can return to the labor market as soon as possible.
Planning Institute of Jamaica's labor market analyst Deidre Coy explains their fact-finding mission's third phase as they meet with the local tripartite council.
In phase 1, we looked at an institutional assessment and an employment termination assessment, as well as labor market assessment. Phase 2 looked at a cost assessment where some actuarial analysis was done, and that would inform what the potential contribution rate could be, and so on. We're currently in phase 3 of the study, which Ariel mentioned, would look at the legal and operational frameworks. And the findings from the study will actually inform Cabinet as far as the decision whether or not to implement unemployment insurance.
Meantime, members of the National Insurance Board's Public Managers Union have voted in favor of a strike by a vote of 155 in favor. 15 were against such a move. The PMU opted to take such action after negotiations for a new industrial agreement stalled. The previous agreement expired in 2019.
The next stage would be for a certificate to be issued. Of course, as you would appreciate, if they do strike, again, the matter can be referred to the tribunal. But nonetheless, I am pleased again to indicate I've spoken with Minister Miles LaRoda and also with the union, and from all indications, they are at the table, and we're hoping that they're able to amicably resolve that matter and avoid a strike.
Upgrading its staff complement and avenue, the Bahamas Telecommunications Company is pursuing to enhance its access nationwide. The Dawn Davis this morning headed to the Holy Trinity Activities Center, Stapleton Gardens, to learn a bit more about BTC's job fair.
Statistics from the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, reveal that the Bahamas' unemployment rate is pegged at 13.9%. It's a figure BTC officials hope to decrease through its first job fair of the year. However, as we continue to grapple with COVID-19, the telecommunications giant came up with a unique strategy that will alleviate the long lines at the interview site.
And we would have done, really a smart process in making certain that we done a pre-assessment of all of our applicants that would have gone to our portal, and much of a great response. Over 924 individuals would have responded. We would have shortlisted down to 400. Of course, as a part of our recruitment process, we do a pre-assessment of all individuals who apply for these respective roles.
With some 400 applicants here at the BTC Job Fair at the Holy Trinity Activities Center, Director of People K. Darren Turnquest outlines some of the vacancies currently available.
We have SMB sales agents that we are in need of, small, medium business sales agents. We have residential sales agents, door-to-door, I'm drawing a blank, telesales. Of course, we have our back office support, and back office is really the machinery that gets to keep, when customers call in, how are we able to kind of problem solve and shoot what's going on. We also have to make sure that the more customers we bring on, that we have sufficient agents on board to be able to support this ramp up as well. And so these are some of the key areas. We're also looking for B2B, which is our business to business area.
But unfortunately, of that number, only 128 positions can be filled. Customer service hopeful Christia Roll is confident that she will get a call back.
I've always been a customer service representative ever since I was younger. When I first started working, my first job was as a cashier, and from moving on over the years, I've stayed in customer service representative. So BTC, when I saw the opening, I decided to apply for it.
CEO Andre Foster says his job fair is one step closer to attracting more customers to the packages BTC has to offer.
This job fair is going to allow us to bring, new talent into the organization to help us sell into our communities and to really give a great customer experience for customers as they move their services back onto our new fully fiber network. We've invested millions of dollars making sure that we have the best broadband, but also the best fixed mobile convergence product, which means when you bring your mobile and your fixed services together, we give a great value. And we feel that we need to have the right people out there telling the story about the new products and services services that BTC is offering.
BTC officials say they plan to host phase 2 of their job fair sometime in the future. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas is preparing for its second digital upgrade. Executive Chairman Paiswell Forbes, along with Engineering Director Neil Benjamin and Information Technology Specialist Keno Baker, are currently in Las Vegas, Nevada, attending the National Association of Broadcasters show, where industry professionals meet annually. The corporation's last upgrade was in 2012. Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Hop to your favorite super value and quality supermarkets for great savings, including Robin Hood flour, 5.5 pounds, $4.79. Carnation evaporated milk, 12.7 ounces, 2 for $2.09. Fay bath tissue, jumbo, 6 rolls, $3.99. Fresh pork shoulders, $1.79 per pound. Idaho potatoes, 5-pound bag, $3.49. The specials you'll love are at Super Value and Quality Supermarket.
Western Air introduces new jet flight services between Nassau and Fort Lauderdale. You heard right. Western Air is now flying between Nassau and Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Whether you're flying for business, shopping, or taking the family on a quick getaway, Western Air is at your service. Less flight time, more you time. You bring your family, you bring your crew, and we'll bring ours. Western Air, we'll take you there. Now jetting to Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fort Lauderdale.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses, including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road, and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
So when you look at the complement of women that we have across the business today, they're in the commercial field, they're in the IT field, they're in the technology field. We've been very strategic and that women had a place not only at the table, but also that different views and not just one voice is being heard to ensure that we're providing innovative and creative solutions to our customers to enable their lifestyle to be even more seamless as we go forward.
Aggressive plans underway to establish food kitchens across the islands aimed at saving and repurposing those items that would otherwise spoil and be discarded. Here's Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Affairs Minister, the Honorable Clay Sweeting.
I see who has the carriage over food processing has started a program whereby, and continues a program whereby they're teaching persons around the Bahamas how to process food. However, the Ministry of Agriculture is also working towards placing food kitchens in a strategic approach across the country. So these food kitchens will assist farmers who have produce that is rotting or produce that cannot be sold to the packing house. And we understand the need to adding value to our product here.
Minister Sweeting will also share nuggets of wisdom during a keynote address at tomorrow's Eleuthera Business Outlook. He will address the theme Beyond Recovery into Growth. A virtual and on-site event at the hub in Rock Sound covers tourism and hospitality industries like transportation, accommodations, and new quality investment and financial services. The one-day event begins at 9:30 Thursday morning. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We are currently under mostly cloudy conditions, but that will change later on tonight. We'll tell you why later in the newscast. The current temperature is 79 degrees. Relative humidity at 60%. We have southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,017.4 millibars. That's 30.04 inches. And the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 77s in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Grand Tour, Key, and Marshall, Babico. The Berry Islands at 78 degrees. Alstown, Bimini, 79, 77 in Harbor Island. Rock, Sunny, Eleuthera, Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space, Orlando's, and Fresh Creek and Central Landers, all at 78 degrees. 78 also in Alstown, Cadalum, San Salvador, and Rum Key, Georgetown, 79, 78 in Ragged Island, Clarence, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands. Matchitown, Unagua, they have a temperature of 79 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also 79 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the Northwestern Islands tonight through Thursday, light and variable winds with flat seas, 1 to 3 feet. Low tide takes place at 53 minutes past midnight. High tide will take place at 6:53 in the morning. And then for the Central and Southeastern Islands through Thursday, easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And as we take you into Friday, in the Northwestern Islands, the winds become easterly at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights building 2 to 4 feet. High tide takes place at 7:37 in the morning, with the low tide at 1:48 in the afternoon. In the Central and Southeastern Islands on Friday, southeast winds also increasing to 15 knots steady. 3 to 5 feet will be your wave heights, so we'll start to put a caution flag in place by late Friday evening. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Let's go. Wake up early one morning, kiss my mama goodbye. Going back to the island, I say, don't worry, mama, don't cry. I sure hope that she's still able. So this evening around 5 o'clock, I'll stand at her bow and see.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Do some corn.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on a live to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plan, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plan, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
My name is Alicia Poitea, and I've been using the Molfix brand for almost 10 years now. What I love about the Molfix brand is that it is of great quality, and I currently use it on my 2-year-old and my 5-month-old. I haven't had any issues with irritability or rashes or anything of that sort. What I love most about the Molfix brand is that I get value for money, and that to me is awesome.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to Sports on this Wednesday. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news from the association playoffs. DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns have some breathing room after taking a 3-2 lead in their best-of-7 first-round playoff series against the New Orleans Pelicans last evening. Ayton recording 19 points, going 8 of 13 from the field and 3 of 5 from the line, with 9 rebounds and 3 assists in the 112-97 win. Ayton fell 1 rebound shy of what would have been his second double-double of the series and 32nd of the season. The fourth-year big man is still up to 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks per contest through the first 5 games of the series. After losing Game 4 Sunday in New Orleans, the Suns responded like a top overall seed, taking control of the contest from the opening tip.
Our defense made us put pressure on them dudes, and we was running tonight. I think, other than Game 1, we was really running. You know, we was really in that paint, and that's what got us the momentum, got the crowd in it, and, you know, made us make it feel like a normal game in a way, you know, just attacking the paint and getting paint touches. Having guys like that who could put pressure on the ball and, you know, just give our opponents a different look. And that's what Coach did. It felt good, you know, having 2 bigs out there and me popping. You know what I'm saying? Feel good not to roll a little bit, but, you know, just giving different looks in the game and, you know, rebounding as well, putting pressure so we can close out possessions.
We'll have an opportunity to close out the series on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Buddy Hield recently wrapping up his first season with the Indiana Pacers. Buddy Buckets spoke in an exit interview with the team and talked about what he wants to do this offseason.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Israel. Of course, Bahamas, but Israel. Went to school in Sunrise Christian Academy in Wichita when I first came to America. And the pastor that runs the school, Dr. Lindstead, the principal, he goes every year, multiple times a year. And one of my main goals is like to go with him to Israel and just people of the sightseeing, see all the Christianity, history. I want to see more places, Egypt, the Petra. You know, I've seen my whole goal before I die is to see the 7 wonders of the world. So.
In baseball news, well, what was anticipated in being an historic night for Bahamian baseball, it unfortunately was not that, as we did not get a chance to see Bahamian baseball stars Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Lucius Fox face off last night, as their teams did battle the Miami Marlins facing the Washington Nationals. Fox did not suit up, perhaps still nursing a stomach illness that took him out of their latest matchup on Sunday. For Jazz, though, he went 1 for 5 with 1 hit and no runs, batted in the Marlins' 5-2 win. The Marlins are 8-8 and are 6-4 in their last 10 games and are second in the NL East. As for Chisholm himself on the season, he's batting .286 with 4 homers, 15 RBIs on 49 at-bats. He currently leads the entire MLB with a .727 slugging percentage. And for the second time in the series against the Stockton Ports, Deshaun Knowles delivered late-game heroics and another walk-off win for the Inland Empire 66ers in their most recent matchup. Facing a 1-1 count in the bottom of the 11th inning, Knowles delivered in the clutch with the go-ahead RBI single to lift the 66ers to a 9-8 win over the Ports. Regularly listed as an outfielder, Knowles got the start at shortstop and hit lead off in the lineup. He went 4 for 6 with 2 RBIs and scored 2 runs. He previously singled in the 1st, 5th, and 7th innings prior to his game-clinching single in the 11th. The Bahamas Chess Federation holding its Olympiad qualifiers over the weekend. ZNS sports team used the opportunity to speak to Federation executives and how tournaments such as these and recent exhibitions have boosted the confidence of younger players.
Particular tournament give our players an opportunity to test their skills against world-class players and to see what they need to work on. And one of the things for the juniors was that they realized that they can play against the best in the world. We just need to give them that opportunity. And so we're hoping that coming out of that tournament, we could have a whole lot more support from sponsors and persons who would like to help us give those kids and our senior players more opportunities to travel and play against the world.
And we close out tonight's sportscast with our viral moment of the day, the FTX Crypto Conference, attracting some of the world's biggest names in the crypto space, but some major sports figures as well. In this photo here from social media, local Buccaneers superfans Freddie Sluggo Lightbourne taking a pic with future Hall of Famer and current Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady, who's certainly no stranger to the Bahamas, as he owns a home in Abaco and frequents the 242 during the off-season. And that's when we look at sports on this Wednesday and check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
What would I like people to know about women in leadership is that women being in leadership does not deny an opportunity to a man to be in leadership. We can all be in leadership together. And in fact, leadership makes its most effective decisions when it's getting those different viewpoints from all segments of society. My advice would be to young women to never rest on your laurels. Always be thinking about what is the next thing that you can do or need to learn.
Family gatherings start with a trip to Super Value and Quality supermarkets for great savings like Bahama long grain rice, 10 pounds, $7.99. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, 2 for $5. Hunt's ketchup, 32 ounce, $2.69. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.19 per pound. Sweet cantaloupes, 2 for $5. Continue to save at Super Value and Quality supermarkets.
What? Check old girl, boy. Say she getting married?
Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Hey, Regattas, homecomings and festivals are all back. The Family Island Suite, eh?
Want to get your message out to the widest possible audience in the Bahamas? Now it's time to get your ads on the big station, the People Station, ZNS.
Let the people know where to stay, where to eat and drink, what to drive, what to do, where to have a good time, where to get what you need, and a whole lot more. What are you waiting on?
The ZNS sales team will be in Kid Island, April 27th to May 1st. So book your ads today. They call them now at 376-0277 for a sweet Family Island deal.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, a weak frontal boundary is expected to move near the extreme northwest Bahamas tomorrow, and that will bring with it some shower activity with embedded thunderstorms, particularly around Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini. That will slowly sink towards the south, reaching us here in the capital sometime by Friday afternoon. So it seems as though some much-needed rains are in the forecast. Our forecast for tonight, we're going in for mostly clear conditions, and because of the clear skies, temperatures will be just around 69 degrees, very much on the cool side tonight. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny and comfortable. 81 degrees for your high temperature, and your extended weather forecast looking like this for us here in the capital. It's going to be pretty much okay tomorrow, but those showers will start reaching the extreme northwest Bahamas tomorrow, spreading into our area on Friday. Showers and isolated thunderstorms, but by Saturday, things are going to clear up quite nicely for you as we head to the balance of the weekend. The winds will start to pick up on Sunday, and that will take us into Monday with some more windy conditions. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. Before we leave, today is Administrative Professionals Day, a day set aside for those individuals who make a difference in office administration. And so we want to salute the dynamic and hardworking administrative professionals here at ZNS. Garnell Dames, Sharnette Ferguson, Unitha Sherman, Vivian Williamson, Christina King, Anthea Munnings, Michelle Dean Weeks, Portia Johnson. Well done, ladies. Well, that does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.